We have reached an agreement that actually covers all the claims in the US, even the ones that would come in still over the next 6 months. So therefore, this actually puts behind us the vast majority of the claims, because those were in the US. That doesn't mean that everything is resolved. We, for example, still have the DOJ also investigating us, but that actually is now one of the last remaining pieces of the whole suite of actions that we have taken in resolving the recall. We have now, for the patients, remediated all devices. And as I said before, we also reached agreement around consent decree and the economic loss, and now the personal injury and medical monitoring. And that allows us to focus back on where we need to focus.
And you mentioned the Department of Justice investigation. Can you give us an update on that, Roy? How is that unfolding? What are you provisioning for that?
We cannot provision because actually that investigation is ongoing. We can also not speculate on the outcome. So DOJ is investigating. We are fully collaborating, and actually that will be ongoing. But as we have now resolved the vast majority of other cases, actually what we are focused on is really driving innovation for healthcare. Because as we all know, healthcare is under big strain. Not a lot of people, a lot of patients to be served, and therefore our AI-driven solutions really are in demand to actually serve that market and actually address the shortages of staff, but also to address more patients with better care.
Yeah, and I want to get onto that market question, certainly. But before I do, the total cost, so Bloomberg have calculated the total costs around this recall, the apnea recall, sleep apnea recall, is around $5 billion US. To be clear, you do expect additional costs to be added to that number. There's more that you're going to have to be putting aside for this.
At this point in time, we are not aware of anything else that we need to put aside for this. So what we have put aside and what we actually have been coming out with today, that's actually something we are covering. Of course, there are also still ongoing investigations, as we just discussed the DOJ, but it's unknown what if there will be any consequences from that.